Saint Martin have just released a new watch that is in equal parts so weird and so elegant that it might be one of their most interesting releases to date. And today we are going to see all about it. Hi everybody and welcome to Horologique, I am Olivier, and today we are going to check the Saint Martin SN0145. A really interesting watch, full of weird things, full of really good things, some very bad things as well that we will discuss in here. And in the end, you will decide if this is a watch for you. As usual, I'm gonna be leaving the links in the description below. But let's dive directly into the watch, and let's start by seeing what this watch is. It is, as stated, it is a pretty weird watch. It is a Tonneau shape, integrated bracelet, and with a dial made out of semi-precious stone. However, it does retain all the beautiful finishing from Saint Martin and all the bells and whistles that you associate to the brand. You've got 4 different models in here, actually 8 if you count the movement variations, but let's just start with those 4, and they correspond to different dial options. You've got the green malachite version, you've got the aventurine version, you've got the blue eagle eye, and you've got this one, the tiger stone dial. And they are actually made out of those stones, not only made to look like these stones, they are made of the stones, but for the aventurine, of course, which is made out of aventurine glass, which means that as these dials are natural stone, no two will be alike, and that is the uniqueness of these watches, like the meteorite watches that were fashionable a few years ago. In the eye of the tiger stone that you see here, you see that mine has a very distinctive amber color with its own pattern. I like it very much. Dimensions wise, you're looking at a 40mm in length watch by 10.7mm in height, so quite nice and slim, by 46.4 in log to log and 48.6 in end link to end link. The hands are what we have seen before from the Saint Martin upper echelons. Once again, this is an original model watch, there's nothing quite like it. Not only that, but they also carry some lume in them, as do the alpha hands. We'll return to those hands because there's an important point in there. But as you can see in the lume shot, there's plenty of BGW9 lume in there, very nicely and efficiently applied by Saint Martin. Let's go to the finishing of the watch, and here you can see that mostly the watch is brushed and vertically brushed for most of it, with some sections that have been polished. Both descending lips from the bezel to the case, the chamfers running along the sides of the watch, and of course every outer part of those H-links and the inner links has been beveled as well, and that is great attention to detail, certainly not easy or cheap to do. Let's focus on that bracelet indeed. Even though it is an integrated bracelet model, it goes from 22 to 15.5, so there's a big thinning of the bracelet, and the clasp is signed Saint Martin, one of those big older Saint Martin clasps, with the advantage that they give you a lot of wiggle room with that on-the-fly adjustment. Let's talk movement here. You've got 2 options. You've got the PT5000 or you've got the SW200. Both versions are clones of the ETA 2824-2, one being a Chinese clone, the PT5000, and the other being a Swiss clone, but they will be quite different in regards to cost, as the one with the PT5000 will cost over $100 less than the one with the Swiss SW200. Is that worth it? Well, you let me know, but at least Saint Martin will make you think that it is worth it, because they have done something in here that I do not like. They have reserved the nice beveled hands for the SW200 version, and they have put just normal, non-beveled and pretty flat hands on the PT5000, and that is something that I do not like and that I do not endorse. Saint Martin, especially in these more expensive models, they should give us the best ever available options for both models. I really don't think that a lot of people are buying that SW200, as these watches are pretty expensive for what is essentially an AliExpress brand. Continuing on the negatives, many of you always complain that the Saint Martin octagon logo is ugly. I do not especially think so, but here I will have to agree. On this quite classic watch, I would have preferred either the vintage lettering, either printed or applied even better, or maybe even the applied hexagon. But that printed hexagon just cheapens the watch a little. And last complaint is this crown, this octagonal crown, although beautiful, is not really easy to grip. I know that the really expensive Audemars Piguet Relogue has the same crown, but it is really not easy to grip. That's the negative parts. Now the positives. Of course I love these dials. They look beautiful, they look quite alive, natural. And that is something that has not been replicated elsewhere. I don't see a lot of brands using at least Eye of the Tiger stone. No, I don't see many using this stone. I think Zelos is in their latest models, but we'll talk about those in a future video. Next, the loom. The loom is very good, especially for one of these watches. And the finishing, of course. The finishing is immaculate, as usual with Saint Martin at this price point. You can expect to find these watches at around the $300 mark. If you go to SKB Watches, you can have it for around $260 with code HR15. And for that, you get what is essentially one of the weirdest but most interesting watches that Saint Martin have ever built. And if you stayed until here, it is because you're interested in Saint Martin watches, and in that case I'm going to be leaving you here with the best Saint Martin watches that you can find in the market right now. Thank you very much, and I'll be seeing you right away in this video.